3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the channel, Triple Side Thoughts. We're doing a spoiler-free review of Godzilla vs. Kong. So, for me personally, I really enjoyed this movie. It's one of those movies where you kind of got to turn off your brain and just shove popcorn in your mouth and enjoy the ride. Mm-hmm. If you do that and suspended disbelief, if you're able to do that in movies, you'll really enjoy this movie. If you're not able to do that, you might not like this movie.
Well, I guess my 2 cents in that is that it's a giant freaking gorilla and a giant lizard. So you can't put too much logic behind it, but overall it's a great movie. The CGI,
the CGI was incredible,
man.
It was done really well.
I don't know, I nitpick CGI a lot, especially like Justice League, the original one, not the Zack Snyder cut, and just like little CGI here and there that could be done differently or just put a little more time into it and it'll come out great. And I think this one, they got the gorilla hair, Kong's hair really on point. They got Godzilla's like scaly skin on point. It looked like it was actual giant creature, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as nitpicky stuff for me, not in a general sense, but specific to...
I said we first start with what we really liked about the movie.
The fighting. The fight scenes were awesome. Like, that's the best part. Like, forget the human stuff. Just have Godzilla and Kong go at it. Like, give me more of that and I'm happy. Like, this movie had plenty of fight scenes and they were awesome.
Yeah, and I think overall that's something that if I'm gonna turn off my brain to enjoy a movie, I think it has to be like action-packed, or it has to be some logic to why I'm turning off my brain to enjoy it. And I think the fighting overall, the sound that like the fighting, and I don't know if this was HBO or our side, where the monologue in any time that we're talking in the movie, it was kind of low, and then I don't know where the fighting scene just spiked up, and I was like, holy cow, this was like a Dolby theater. That would be crazy. I would probably need hearing aids after that.
Yeah, I agree. That was a little interesting, where it seemed like they had the dialogue in certain scenes really, really low. And then when the score would kick in, or when loud like hitting sounds or anything like that was right after that, and it was just blaringly loud, and it seemed like they could have dialed up the dialogue a little higher in all the scenes, and it wouldn't have been so like taking you out of the movie, of being like, what are they saying? It's low, and then all of a sudden it's blaringly loud.
And this is like a small nitpick that probably wouldn't matter if you're watching this in the daytime, where obviously it's midnight. Movie released here in California at 12 p.m. So we're trying to be courteous. 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Trying to be courteous here.
And not have it blaring.
Yeah. I mean, we had his wife in the other room trying to sleep. Poor Ashley. But no, yeah, I think overall, that's like a small nitpick. One thing that I really liked about it is, I never seen the second Godzilla movie that came out. And then it's been a while since I've seen King Kong, and like there was super small confusion in like the movie, who was who, right? Because they didn't really like Dora was saying, they didn't really put too much time into trying to create some backstories, like, hey, here's the fighting, let's go at it type of thing. So I think for me, coming in like that, I was still able to understand the movie really well, and at the same time, just again, the fighting, that's like, if you're into like some type of kaiju, or what was that movie with Guillermo del Toro, the 2 guys in the robot suits?
I know what you're talking about. Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
So if you're into those type of movies, those type of fighting, like this puts it like very, very good as far as like action in a bigger scale. And there's a city that gets destroyed pretty bad. So I'm trying to stay as spoiler free as possible, so my brain's like censoring things right before I say it. And then you were gonna mention right before I cut you off was, what was the one thing, like, well, I guess nitpicks. What were your nitpicks from
there? Was something that really bothered me in this movie. It almost seemed like there were two movies happening simultaneously, with something specific on the human side that they were dealing with, how to get somewhere. And I was like, it's cool sci-fi, but it made literally no sense in connecting this world in the movie. And it was just like, I mean, that's cool, but why did they have to put this in the movie?
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of bothered me. It was cool. That whole thing was cool, without spoiling anything. It's cool, but it seemed like it belonged in a different movie.
No,
you see what I'm saying?
No, I think it just came down to maybe a time crunch. The movie's 2 hours, first of all, right? So I think it kind of came down to how much backstory do we want to give and how much fighting sequence do we want to get, right? Give as well, right? Because I think it was a 50-50 type of movie where we got 50% story, 50% fighting. Like,
the story's fine. The human stuff is okay. I want more fighting. But I'm saying the specific thing that they did with the sci-fi stuff and the technology was like, this is a different movie.
Yeah, I mean,
it's called Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
And that had nothing to do.
But I think you have to go back to your previous statement, which was turn off your brain, right? Where
correct.
I was like, okay, we're in a world where there's a giant like gorilla and a giant lizard, and the technology that they're using probably doesn't make sense because that doesn't exist, right? So I think that's where, for me, I get what you're saying about it. For me, it wasn't like much of an issue because I was like, okay, well,
it just had a lot of conveniences too, when like, oh, they need to do this, and it's like, oh, this happened. Oh, they need to do this. Oh, this happened. And it was just like a little bit. I had to like roll my eyes when like two of them that happened. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I get you got to move the story towards this, but the way they did it was like cheap to me. A couple of them were like, and specifically with the two characters that knew each other that were teenagers, and the other guy that they were with on their like submission.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, oh, that was ridiculous. Like,
yeah, but again, for me, I was like, I didn't jump into this movie like, I didn't watch any interviews or anything like that. I was like, hey, like, it's a good time. It's shoot giant things fighting. So I was like, I'm in it for the ride. But it didn't bother me whatsoever.
Those things bothered me.
Yeah.
It's nitpicking.
Yeah, and then, like, I guess the one thing I could probably say that was like a nitpick for me was, I don't know. I maybe like. I guess one of the characters that, like, this is probably not too much spoiling, but there was a character where she was able to communicate with Kong, and I guess for me, I'm like, okay, well, if she's able to do that, I'm sure someone would have saw her by now, right? Or at least they didn't really show them going off in any adventures type of thing. So I'm like, I feel like if this is part of the movie, that was kind of a nitpick, I guess you can say, but that's a stretch. I'm reaching for something. I would have said nothing. I didn't really care for it. This falls in the category of like a Transformer movie, where you can't nitpick too much. Just enjoy the cinematic, like, CGI, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm for it. I mean, the fighting was great. I think that's probably what I got for it. And I think overall, while I was watching the movie, the one thing that I don't know why my brain went here, but I was like, if they can do this massive type of destruction, which they've done before, Pacific Rim and anything like that, why can't they do a Dragon Ball Z movie? And I haven't seen Dragon Ball Z, I haven't heard anything Dragon Ball Z that I can think of, but I'm like, just imagine like just two.
Do it well.
Do like two
like
duels.
Mortal Kombat trailer. That looks like it's gonna be done well.
Yeah, but I mean, this movie I'm sure had way more money put into it than Mortal Kombat.
Probably.
Don't you think? So,
Probably.
I mean,
I think it was $160 million budget. They made $123 million in China already.
So this is gonna be shown in theaters, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, we were able to watch it at home through HBO.
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
And little tip for you guys: if you have AT&T, you get HBO Max for free. So just Google how do I sign up for HBO Max for free with AT&T and follow the instructions and
free. Which at the same time, I'm like, this. We were able to see Wonder Woman. We were able to see a couple other things with HBO already.
Mortal Kombat, we're gonna see on HBO Max. There's a ton of cool. Suicide Squad 2 is gonna be on HBO Max.
What?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The Matrix 4 is gonna be on HBO Max.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I take your account, so I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I think overall, final thoughts for me is just that if you're down, if you enjoyed Pacific Rim, if you enjoyed any of like these big fighting movies where like a Transformers, I would say would you say there's better acting here than there was in Transformers?
The first one or any of the other ones? Because I think the first one was really good.
The first one was made really good. But I mean,
I got annoyed with the rest of them.
Yeah,
it just got worse and worse and worse.
Okay. Yeah, the robots did. I mean, I would say it's a little bit higher. Like, I mean, the acting, they got a really good cast. Yeah. They got one of the kids is Billy Bobby Brown. I forgot the guy from Get Out is in there. He plays another character. And then you also have, who's another major person?
There's a couple of them. Yeah, I just can't think of them by the actor and actresses by name, but yeah. Yeah,
so it didn't make it cheesy. I mean, there was cheesy parts of the movie, but like overall, it was like the actors belonged, the acting belonged in that world for me.
Yeah, so this is kind of on the fly. I've been thinking about like having our channel have a rating system, and I was thinking because it's the triple side thoughts that we could go with a single, a double, or a triple. What would you give the movie?
And would we put it in different categories?
Or a strikeout. A strikeout, a single, a double, or a triple.
Ooh, okay.
Or a home run.
A triple or a home run. Okay, I would probably say...
Well, in the right order. A strikeout, a home run, which is, I guess it's a single, right?
Yeah.
A double or a triple.
Okay, I would probably say a double. Right?
I'll go with the same score.
Yeah.
It's a double.
Because I don't think that it has the level, and maybe because I'm missing 2 movies, right? So maybe that's what
that
overall
would have helped it.
Okay, so
honestly,
I think that could have the movie been a little bit longer to explain things. Yes, but most people are like, I mean, I like 2+ hour movies. I'm not really annoyed by that, but
I love it.
Yeah,
as long as it's good, like give me more hours.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll say a double.
Yeah, I'll give it a double too.
Cool.
Love you guys. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell. Like this video, comment, share, and we'll see you guys next week.